yours, Mary. Okay, Mary, it's all yours.
Okay, I need to share my
Screen?
screen, yeah.
Okay, we can do that. Here we go.
Okay, so once again, the dog is snoring in the background. So,
You and your dog.
so yeah, that's a little bit tough to follow that video. Thank you, Dan, for sharing that. Gunda mentioned earlier that there's kind of a phenomenon going across the country with these pop-up pantries, or the little pantry, neighborhood pantries. And there's another phenomenon that I became aware of several years ago, and that has to do with main streets. And if you are a fan of HGTV and follow Hometown in Laurel, Mississippi, or Wetumpka, Alabama, or Waco, Texas, you learn pretty quickly that this resurgence and this honoring of the downtown cores that's becoming very popular, that doesn't happen by accident. It's actually a pretty deliberate effort to make the downtowns vibrant. And we are really lucky in Gig Harbor to have the Downtown Waterfront Alliance that is a member of the Main Street organization. And we're really lucky to have the 3 staff people that really make all the difference in the world. So Mary Damaris joined our organization 12 years ago. She's the executive director. She's been the executive director for every year but one. And she has really seen all the changes that has brought this into one of the more organized, effective, decorated main streets in our state. And then Josh Sherwin is our special events coordinator. And anytime you guys participate in like the sip and strolls or girls night out or chalk the harbor, all of that is led by Josh. And he's also an aspiring Steven Spielberg. He's quite a videographer, and we've seen his videos at our Star Awards. But that has been really fun for us to be able to use his talents in that regard as well. And then finally, Heidi Gerling is, she's our market manager. And I think a farmer's market is one of those things that you just think the farmers show up the day of the market, but there's so much work that goes into it. There's a lot of regulations with the health department and the like. And Heidi really does, you know, a pop-up business times 35 or 40 every single week throughout the summer. So she does a great job. And this year has been especially hard for these folks. So I'm excited that they're going to be sharing their story with us. And I think you'll find that there's some opportunities for us to volunteer as a club. Take it away, Mary.
Hey, thank you for asking us to join you today. We're really happy to be here. Well, you've heard who our staff is. Josh is, as Mary said, our special projects coordinator. He's going to be reviewing our promotional efforts during 2020 and moving forward. And Heidi will be talking about the farmers market and what you can expect. And I know you're on the calendar as volunteers, so she's going to talk about that a bit as well. I'm going to give you a brief background on the Main Street movement and our program. The Main Street movement grew out of a recognition that a community is only as strong as its core. In an era when many people had given up hope about the commercial and cultural viability of downtowns, and when suburbs and shopping malls and big box retailers were dominating the American landscape, this seemed like an unlikely proposition. But over the last 4 decades, the Main Street movement has proven that downtowns are the heart of our communities, something that we all know. Main Street America consists of over 1,000 designated programs helping to improve local economies and enhance quality of life across the country. In Washington State, there are 36 accredited Main Street programs employing the proven Main Street 4-point approach to address economic vitality in their historic commercial districts. Washington Main Street awarded our program full Main Street designation in 2011, and the Alliance has been a nationally certified Main Street program since 2012. With a mission of bringing together our community, encouraging economic vitality, and preserving our historic character, and because we are mission-driven and not member-driven, the Alliance represents and supports all the businesses in our downtown Waterfront Main Street district. The boundaries of that district are identified by the state Main Street program. And they run from 7 Seas new location where the Green Turtle used to be, down Harborview, around North Harborview to the bottom of Peacock, and then up Pioneer to Judson, including businesses on both sides of Judson. So the 4-point Main Street approach has been the foundation of our organization since our inception, with committees focused on design, economic vitality, organization and outreach, and promotions. The key to the success of our many programs and projects are the wonderful volunteers that dedicate themselves to our efforts. In a typical year, we are supported by over 3,000 hours of volunteer support. In 2019, the Washington Trust for Historic Preservation commissioned a study of the impact of Washington Main Street. The findings, which were released in July of 2020, paint a detailed and data-driven picture of the tremendous economic, fiscal, and community impact of Main Street in Washington State. That report can be found online, and I will put a link to that in the chat. So how did COVID impact the efforts of the Alliance and other Main Street communities? Main Street programs across the state and the nation responded swiftly and effectively to the economic crisis caused by the pandemic. Existing relationships that we already had with our business owners and the trust that is built into that enabled us to leverage resources and provide critical support to our downtown community. We know that Main Street was made for this kind of work, bringing community members together to support one another and to build and rebuild healthy local economies. Now more than ever, we have a crucial role to play in supporting small businesses, maintaining our quality of life, and ultimately restoring the vitality of our commercial districts. So going back in the calendar a bit, in January of 2020, we had just finished a very successful 2019, and we were ready to hit the ground running. On February 8th, we held our winter sip and stroll. Perhaps some of you attended that. We had over 500 attendees visiting our downtown waterfront businesses that day. We hosted our annual meeting and volunteer appreciation event on February 27th with over 100 people in attendance. We presented awards to downtown businesses and volunteers, including to the Beach Basket for 50 years in business. We honored outgoing board members, welcomed new board members, and celebrated the many volunteers that make up the backbone of Alliance efforts and events. With a theme of We Are Main Street, We Are the Alliance, we shared the connection that the Downtown Waterfront Alliance has with both the state and national Main Street programs. In March, we held our 3rd annual Restaurant Week. It was very successful, with 7 of our downtown restaurants reporting increased business during that week. We moved on into March, looking forward to another year of serving and supporting our community through our many projects and events. And then, March 17th, the day the Alliance closed its doors and began working remotely. What did lockdown mean, and how long was it going to last? What would our businesses need? We quickly scrapped the 2020 work plan and focused on new ideas and a plan to implement them. We began our 2020 pivot with a goal to be a vital partner and resource for the downtown core. Almost immediately, we created a closed Facebook group for our downtown businesses where we could quickly disperse information about loans and grants, governor and health department updates, and where our businesses could safely share concerns and victories, tiers, and suggestions. We had just redesigned the Alliance website utilizing a platform that was easily updated, which became a huge benefit as updates were happening daily and sometimes even hourly. We created a COVID-19 resource page with specific information for our businesses and also for consumers. This is an example of our restaurant page showing what different services were being offered at any given time. As businesses could reopen, even with limited numbers, the Alliance created a Gig Harbor Safe Harbor campaign to supply our businesses with signage, mask requirement information, and hand sanitizer that we of course purchased from Heritage Distilling. Now I'm going to turn it over to Josh, who's going to be talking about what we normally do.
Thanks, Mary. Nice to be here, everyone. Under normal circumstances, one of the things we do is create events and activities that are designed to attract people to come downtown to shop and dine and to take advantage of all the downtown has to offer. We do what we can to help keep downtown a vital place with sip and strolls, girls' night out, trick or treat in the harbor, and more. But as the reality of COVID set in, we realized we weren't going to be able to do those things for a while. So we had to get creative. We, just like everybody else, we had to pivot. We started with an emphasis on social media, promoting that shops and restaurants were open and informing the public about COVID protocols with fun and helpful graphics. But we couldn't encourage an event or activity that would create large gatherings downtown. So instead, we developed promotions that took place over time to spread out the visitation, like the Passport to the Holidays promotion we had in December and the Spring into the Harbor promotion in April. These promotions encourage people to shop and dine downtown over the course of 4 weeks to win valuable prizes. We also tried to encourage shopping downtown on Thursdays while our farmers market was open with our You'll Love Thursdays promotion. And another promotion we held early on during COVID was Make a Difference Day, where we partnered with the 3 Rotary clubs to encourage Rotarians and the general public to shop at a small group of specific stores on Saturdays, a different group each Saturday, to help support these stores during the difficult times they were experiencing. So thank you for supporting downtown during that promotion. In an effort to bring downtown to the people, we created a video series that highlights a different business each week in a fun, entertaining fashion. It's hosted by Carrie Polinsky, the chair of our promotions committee. She has lots of fun interviewing store owners and staff, helping the public discover the many treasures that are downtown. The series is called Treasures on the Waterfront. It's been a huge success. Store owners have told us that they have customers coming in, telling them they saw the video and had to come downtown. All of our Treasures videos can easily be viewed from our Alliance website or on our YouTube channel if you'd like to have a look at them. When summer arrived, we offered our community a bit of normalcy by continuing our popular flower basket program. We had tremendous volunteer support as 30+ volunteers joined our watering team to keep the flower baskets beautiful all summer long. And we want to give special thanks to the city for their partnership with us on this program. Of course, now summer is here once again, and guess what? The flower baskets are up. Hopefully you've seen them. Now, if you would like to help support the flower basket program, you can sponsor a basket for just $100. We'll even put a special temporary plaque beneath your basket to acknowledge your sponsorship. We have a limited number of baskets remaining for sponsorship. More than 50 of them have been sponsored, but if you're interested in doing so, we still have room for a few more. So just give us a call or visit our website for the details. I want to mention that the Alliance developed the award-winning Waterfront Walking Tour program years ago, along with our special partners, Harbor Wild Watch and the Harbor History Museum. Now, we couldn't hold the tours this past summer, and we won't be offering them in person again this summer. However, you can see them virtually on our Waterfront Walking Tour Facebook page. Each Wednesday evening through July 7th, a different episode from the tour, which we call From Skiffs to Spirits, will premiere at 5:30 p.m. Tomorrow night's episode 2 features an Alliance volunteer we all know and love. It's Lana, one of our very popular tour guides. There she is, and she does a great job talking here about Austin Estuary. So be sure to tune in tomorrow night see episode 2. And there's Lana. At this moment, she was filmed entirely in what we call soft focus when we have a little focusing issue. But anyway, it's a great tour to watch. So tune in and watch her tomorrow night. Okay, and then also, currently, we are planning to hold Chalk the Harbor on Saturday, July 24th. We have submitted our permits and we're just awaiting approval from the city. As a matter of fact, I think they came in just an hour ago. This is a great community activity, if you've seen it or been part of it, that brings people downtown, young and old, and their families and their friends, to decorate the downtown sidewalks with chalk art. It's a fabulous feel-good event, and I think we can all agree that sort of thing is sorely needed right now. So it's free and it's fun. Put it on your calendar, July 24th. And that's all I have for the moment. So now we need to turn it over to our market manager to talk about the Waterfront Farmers Market, which is absolutely incredible this year. And Heidi is the mastermind behind that.
Thanks, Josh, and thank you so much, Midday Rotary, for having us today. So the farmers market opened last Thursday to beautiful weather and nearly 1,400 visitors. The market offers a bit of normalcy downtown, although there's still some COVID restrictions that we do have to adhere to that are put forth to us by the health department and other organizations. But those regulations are changing by the day and sometimes by the hour. And so it's kind of a moving target for us. Currently, masks are encouraged for unvaccinated visitors, visitors, but they're not required. Masks are required for unvaccinated customers. However, this is on the honor system, so we are not, we're not having to have show proof or anything like that. There's currently one-way traffic still through the market, and volunteers at the entrance and exit monitoring how many customers are in at one time and offering hand sanitizer. There's still no live entertainment, children's area, cooking demos, or group seating, but we are hoping that that will change, possibly coming June 30th as we see things maybe wide open. We'll see. The Midday Rotary, you are signed up as our volunteer organization for 2 dates, and I can't tell you how thankful I am for that. We really rely on our volunteer organizations, and so thank you very much. We are welcoming you on Thursday, June 17th and July 22nd, and I promise you're going to have a great time. We rely on volunteers both during normal market and COVID market operations. Last season, we saw 239 volunteers with 656 hours of volunteer time. So if you're ever interested in volunteering as an individual, aside from the Rotary dates, there's guidelines and applications available on our webpage, or you can just contact us here at the Alliance, and we'll put that phone number for you in the chat. And so speaking of volunteering, we were delighted that we had received the 2020 Excellence on Main Community Partnership Award from the state for the Waterfront Farmers Market from the Washington State Main Street Program. So this is an award that it's much sought after, and we were very, very honored to receive it. And we're so appreciative of our organization of the Week volunteer program, where organizations such as yourself receive promotion, booth space, shout outs on social media in return for really helping the market set up, the market run, and the market tear down. And it's an invaluable partnership between us and these organizations such as yourself. And then we have a great partnership with the city that helps us to continue to bring this popular project to the community. That's what I have for the farmers market. Back to you, Mary.
Thanks, Heidi. So the impact of the pandemic has been much more and much longer than any one of us could have ever imagined when we locked our doors on March 17th last year. but it is temporary, and we are beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It has taken tenacity, trust, and a lot of transformation to get our downtown through a very difficult year. We made the decision to keep the Alliance as strong as ever and fully staffed with the expectation to hit the ground running as the world opened up again. As we put 2020 behind us, we know we are all moving forward together, and we are looking ahead optimistically to a time of recovery and returning to a full cadre of Alliance events and projects. So thank you again for the opportunity to share what we do with you. If you're interested in volunteering in any capacity, please contact me at the office, and please let us know if you have any questions today.
I have a question, Mary.
Do you, Lana?
I do. First of all, thank you guys for coming. My goodness, you do so much for the community and you do a great job. We have a couple members of our club who have school-age children. I'm looking at you, Nathan. And I know that they've asked in the past if there are opportunities for those children to do some community service. Is that appropriate to have youngsters at the farmer market volunteering and whatever we're doing?
Yeah, and Mary, can I take that one?
Yeah, Heidi, take that.
So absolutely, it's appropriate. We do accept youth volunteers. In fact, Rotary, the Rotary Club of Gig Harbor brought the Interact kids this last weekend, are bringing them this week, and it's such a great experience. And during normal non-COVID years, we've really tried to build a youth volunteer program where youth of all ages can come and experience the market, gain volunteer time. If it's needed for school, we can write recommendations and validate hours. Or if the kids just want to experience what it's like to be at a market and what it takes to run a market and help with that process, bring your family down, bring the kids down. We do have an application that does need to be signed if they are under 18 years old, but other than that, we will give you direction and show you what to do, and we would love to have you there.
Can I just add that we do a volunteer event every year, and I know that Heidi has been instrumental in recognizing some of those youth for their special effort. And they even have a booth that, I don't know, Heidi, if it rotates, but it's for young entrepreneurs. And one of the kids, he used the Cougar Gold cans and he made little succulent gardens out of it, and he won Entrepreneur of the Year or something. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It was a statewide recognition. It was cool.
Absolutely. So aside from volunteering at the market, we do accept youth volunteers or youth vendors. Starting on the 17th, we have Kenzie's Cookies, which is a youth vendor. And then we also have Cooley's Lemonade, which is a youth vendor as well. So come to the market to check those out and support the kids.
That's
So
great.
Heidi, we have a question in chat, Heidi, that I'm going to direct to you. What kind of vendors are allowed to have booths at the farmers market? Is it limited to food and craft vendors?
Okay, so we're considered a food-centric market, meaning that we have a ratio of 85-ish% food and farms to 15% of arts and crafts and community booths. So a booth at the farmers market, you can have a booth if you're a business. If you become a friend of the farmers market, which is a donation of $500, you can then have a booth for a week at the market. You can also be the volunteer organization. So Rotary, if you want your booth set up, and this just came back into play. During the COVID season, we couldn't have any type of community booths where people were going to be conversing about projects or anything like that. Now we can, but it's on a very limited basis.
So which means, Heidi, we can set up our Rotary booth up there when we volunteer?
Absolutely. This just came to us last week. I haven't gotten that information to you, but I actually have it on my list to let you know.
Okay, perfect.
We were just now allowed to start adding back in our community volunteer booths and things like that.
Okay, can we pick the site where we want to go, or do you assign it to us?
Nope. Unfortunately, the layout is what takes a lot of the time to plan more than people think, especially with our one-way traffic. And we have to have certain vendors in certain places depending on their product because of the sun, because of different environmental factors, things like that. So we do assign you your space.
Okay, good. Any question? Lorna has a question.
Heidi, it's for Heidi. Isn't there some kind of fish promotion going on? Where we give
For
out,
fish food.
no.
Oh, yes, but we have some details to still confirm on that.
Oh, okay.
But in the future, what we will be doing, and I don't have the exact dates on this right now, we are going to be offering some fresh local caught, well, it's flash frozen, but it's locally caught by a local fishing family, salmon fillets, 4 of them for $50. And I know that's above market price, but it's a donation to the Alliance. And then you would just pick up that fish once you've purchased it online, you can pick it up at a market that we designate. So I will have dates hopefully for that soon.
Think of it as your NPR type donation to the Downtown Waterfront Alliance. You get a prize for donating.
Well, and also, as I recall, when we were just selling the fish, there's a line out the door and it was gone in a flash. So it's really good fish.
And we will be having a fish vendor starting at the market on the 1st of July, who is also a local fisherman. And he is looking at having fresh flash frozen halibuts that he will be catching, which I know is what people fought over at the fish market that we held. So look forward to that.
Any other questions for
I
Heidi?
have a question, Heidi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Heidi, this is Dan Brown. I'm the advisor for the Interact Club for Midday. And
Yay.
so what time, if I got my kids during the summer to volunteer, what time do you need them and how long and some?
Well, the best time for Interact, because they are active and usually have a little bit of muscle, we would look for them mainly at our closing time, which is 7, the market closes at 7. And it takes us about an hour and 15 minutes to have everybody broken down and load their cars. And one thing that our market does that's different than any other market, because vendors can't pull to their space exactly, they come to the parallel spaces that are in front of the park. And then we have our volunteer organization and individual volunteers unloading their cars for them. They go and relocate their car, come back downtown or down to the park, set up their booths, and then at the end of the night, that all reverses. And so it's those opening and closing times that we really need the most volunteers that are able.
Okay, so what time do you open? I mean,
We well, the market starts, we're there at 8:30. The market starts set up, the vendors start arriving at 10.
okay.
So setup is from 10 to 1. And then 1 to 7 is the market in all its glory. And then at 7 o'clock is closing. And then it's been taking about an hour and 15 minutes. Now, as the season progresses, people start to have a competition. I think that Mary and Remax hold the record right now for 45 minutes.
47 minutes or something.
47 minutes. But we need, that's when we need a lot of bodies is closing mainly.
It's actually really fun because it's
It
kind
is.
of cool to see everybody working together. And so I'm really pleased to see that we've signed up for a couple of sessions.
All right.
It'll be
I'll try to
fun.
get some kids out there.
It'll be great.
I
Dan.
would love that. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, sure.
The vendors and the staff really appreciate that.
Mhm. And like Mary Gorman said, it's fun. You're down at the waterfront. I mean, you can't beat the location, and you're working as a team together. It's definitely a bonding type of experience. It's very fun.
But any other questions? Hey, thank you, Mary and
Looks like
Heidi.
Nathan
and
has a question, maybe.
Nathan,
I tried to
Nathan, how
use
are you
that.
doing? How are you recovering from your accident?
I'm alive. I'll get surgery eventually once I figure out how
Oh,
many
God.
things I injured. But that's another story for another day. So my question was more for you, Madam President. I noticed that the other Gig Harbor Rotary clubs sponsored a hanging basket, and I would think that would be something we might consider doing to not be left out of the cool fold. And if we need to take up a collection plate for it, I would happily contribute to have us sponsor a flower basket.
I
I
was
see Lana
thinking the same,
agrees.
I was thinking the same way. Yeah, I think absolutely, totally agree. We can discuss it at the next board meeting.
So what the other club did was they honored 6 of their members who passed away this
Yeah.
last year. So those were all done in memory, and those can be done. If you have pictures, you can put them on there, but they can also be done in memory of somebody, not just sponsored by.
So I'll go ahead and sign up, and we'll do one for George, you guys.
Absolutely, Mary. Singing the same,
Do it
singing
as
all
a
of them.
club, I'll
Yeah,
do it. So,
absolutely, George Merkley.
yeah, Mary, I'll fill out a thing and get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that reminds me, I need a logo of, do you have a specific logo for Midday Rotary?
No, it's the same
If-
Rotary logo.
It
Yeah,
is,
but we
okay,
had
because
that really
Gig
cool
Harbor,
one then. Where is that? Anybody know? The
Which
one that
one?
Al Abbott did
For Rotary?
because
for our
I
club?
could definitely use it in promoting you for the volunteer weeks.
I don't know what logo you refer to, Mary. I think we
Al
can
Abbott
use,
did one for us specifically, but yeah, I mean, I'll do it offline. I'll send it to you, Gunda, if I can find
Just
it.
Okay,
make sure it's the correct logo that we use.
exactly, yeah. The official Rotary logo. It's right behind me in different colors.
Yeah, the morning Rotary just has one that says Gig Harbor, and so I thought I didn't want to do just Rotary if you had one that was specific to you.
We can add Gig Harbor Midday to our
Yeah,
logo.
but by the way, midday has no hyphen in it, Mary. So if you do midday, it's one word. It's no hyphen, not mid and hyphen day. It's midday, one word. Okay. Yeah, Nathan, I think we all sing a song, sing along the same lines, doing a basket. Yeah, for $100. Beautiful baskets, by the way. I'm so impressed. And people I hear, like Kurt Grimmer says, I'm getting up 4 in the morning and, watering the baskets with Al Abbott. Yeah, he always talks about
We
it.
have great volunteers. They're very
Yeah.
committed.
Yeah, very good. So yeah, anybody who wants to volunteer the basket parade, go ahead and raise your hands. So they're counting whom? Heidi, you for the basket, or is it Mary? You are for
That
the
would be
basket.
me.
Okay, good, perfect. Good, thank you very much. That was great, wonderful. We are at the end of our session almost, but now we do the next thing. We do our most favorite stuff, right, Lorna? We're doing the happy bucks. Are we happy? I'm happy. I'm going to give $10 to the Bishop Food Bank.
Okay, there's Gunda for $10. And if you're happy or even think you might be happy in this week, we're giving money, generally $10 each, to the Bischoff Food Bank to help with food insecurity. It's one of our big themes this year. So I'm happy. I just went to Santa Fe for a week. It was awesome.